Hey everyone, and welcome to our penultimate edition of Hollywood Hills. Yes, this is show number 49 of our 50 episode run. That's a record for us here at Hollywood Hills as well. And remember, we've been running for officially 5 seasons. So it's been great that you guys have been with us on this journey. And we are looking to close out 2021 in big style as well. You of course know that our final shoot was out at the last round of the GXCCs out at Carltonville. Now, on paper, it looked like it was going to be an easy track, but when that weather came down, it changed the game completely. So last week, it was all about the focus and the last wheels turning for our juniors and our quads. And we obviously named the champions for that one as well. The Pro Motorcycle Show, which is what today is all about, was an absolute nail biter. Realistically, the ladies' championship was practically sewn up. A wheel did need to turn though, off the line and across the stripe as well to be able to crown our new champion in the ladies category. But every single one of the rest of the classes saw new champions, and it all came down to Carltonville. This is the Pro Motorcycle Show from the final round of the GXCCs.
This GXCC racing action powered by Dunlop is brought to you by SPX Logistics, Dunlop, RME Bearings and Transmission, and driven by Bikers Warehouse. For the final time of asking, the Pro motorcycles were on the line, lined up, ripped up, and ready to go. The quads had opened up the track nicely in the morning session, but it was certainly going to be a gnarly race. Vision and a good hole shot were going to be key to nailing down those vital final championship points. OR1 Big Bangers gave us a stacked gate, the biggest gate we have seen on the talent pool in 2021. Mikey Pentecost dropped the hammer. He was positioned perfectly, saw clear air, and ran out of the front with Wade Den and a number of previous superstars going out to see what they could do. The super senior Wade Blau was positioned well inside the top 4 once again as he went out to challenge the top pros. These would be the guys to set the pace for the afternoon race. On the line for the OR2 pros, Kieran Fitzgerald came out with a big bang, his first GXCC of the season to see clear air, but on the championship chase, it was all eyes on the Brawler and the Devastator, Ian Rawle and Devon Smith. This would be the championship deciding round in the OR2 pro category. On the OR3s, everyone was out there to see what they could do, but it was a smashing hole shot where the elbows came out pointed and squared. Dav Cocker got it out front with Taki Bodgiodgis, Karam and Mackenzie, as well as the outside bet, John Buerta, now wrapping up the 125 championship and looking forward into the future on the 250s. The 125 situation has been a strange one this year, with a lot of riders jumping up early in the season to get themselves used to the 250s, so it was wide open and anything was up for grabs. The final win was definitely up for grabs, but the decider in number 2 spot for the title was also going to be on the cards. In the seniors, it was a great pull from the middle line coming out of Kochi, but the big 500 in the hands now of Yanni Porkida riding out of the V-Dub Hatfield Mastercard squad. He unleashed the beast and got clear air early on with Kochi and Gerard Foster during the chase down. Back on the Masters gate, no show for Wayne Farmer, so he was going to be losing out on the championship title this season. It was Warwick van Schalkwyk and now very comfortable on the Kawasaki Millies that would be doing the numbers. Third place was going to be all about Swanepoel trying to nail down that top 3 in the title chase. The veterans class was going to be all about Ernst Slubbert. He has been the man to beat the whole way through the season, and he was looking for the Golden Championship. Remember, unbeaten the whole way through the championship tour. But Jeff Den on the 511 Suzuki was going to be the spoiler in that mix. And then on the ladies' pro gate, we saw a little bit of motocross crossover where the elbows were up and the bars would be banging. The pocket rocket, Nicole Duplessis got the job done to see clear air, but that was short-lived as Kayla Roth and Leah Haygate went out into the 51-kilometer loop. This was going to be our gnarliest ladies' pro gate on the season. The top two ladies were gone. Third place was going to be the battle we would keep our eyes on. With all the pro categories out there onto the big 51K, everyone held their breath for the next 3.5 hours of racing. We went down in the pits to chat to Vion about what was in store for our pro racers and to quickly touch on the Chommy Challenge.
Vion, the bikes is obviously going to be our biggest entry for the afternoon session. We should have drier conditions, but my app says it's going to rain in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We looked at it this morning and it shows that it's going to stay dry now until about 12, 1, 2 o'clock. We do expect a good thunderstorm this afternoon, so we hope not, but absolutely, I think the chances are very good for the guys to get wet this afternoon during the last 2 laps or so of the race. Yeah, I said let's try and get the numbers up for the last race of the year, get some guys involved that haven't been racing this year or haven't raced in a long time, and we've launched the hashtag Chommy Challenge. We'll see how we're going to carry that forward in the new year as well, so that we can get new riders to come and join us and have fun. We've had a really good turnout. It's just over 50 new riders that have not raced this year that have actually entered and decided to join us for this last race of the year.
Chommy Challenge was definitely spectacular as we saw a mixture of old vets and adventure bike riders going out into the terrain. The pocket rocket, Nicole Duplessis on the pro ladies gate, saw clear air for a scant 1.5 seconds and eventually finished out her season with a number 6 ride. That put her inside the top 6 for the championship as well. Remarie Ellis, who can now say that she is a fully fledged pro racer, finished off her season with a number 5, with Zelda Mayberg enjoying the muddy conditions to get herself up there inside of a top 4. This has been her learning season for GXCCs, so she'll be chasing down top 3s in 2022. Colin Niebuhr has been the measure and picture of consistency throughout the championship chase, and that's why she is going to go away with a number 2 plate come the end of the season. She didn't want to take any chances at the final round and settled for the 3 spot. Kayla Roth, the multiple ladies motocross reigning champion, came out on the Kawasaki, her first time of asking on a GXCCs, and smashed her way to a number 2 finish. That's a tasty ride, and we love to see the ladies from motocross come across and see what they can do in cross country. Leah Haygate, though, has simply been unstoppable. Every single round, that's 7 rounds, including this final round at Carltonville, she has gone undefeated. She is the new GXCC ladies champion, and even having to push the bike across the line couldn't slow her roll. Confirmation of Haygate on top, beating out her good friend Kayla Roth ahead of Niebuhr, Mayberg, Ellis and Duplessis, but it's Haygate who is your ladies GXCC champ in 2021. Now we climb the ladder into our age group categories, starting things out with our vets. For the GXCC veterans, it's been all about Ern Slabbert, but the guys have been so good at filling up the gates and giving us a fully fledged championship. Stefan Bagnall rocked his way up into a number 6 finish. He's been consistent inside the top 6 the whole way through the season. 5th place this time around went to a Johnny-come-lately in the championship chase. That was Frank de Groot Sr. getting it done for number 5. Up into the number 4 for the last time of asking was Lars Brandlin. He did a great job to get himself up onto the wheel of Johan Bosch. Bosch has been rock solid. He has been the closest rider to the back wheel of Slabbert the whole way through the season. This time around, he had to settle for the number 3 spot. Slabbert also having to step down from the top step of the podium for the first time in 2021 to settle for a number 2, but that was still good enough for him to nail down the inaugural Veterans Championship. The Johnny-come-lately on the tour and very strong in the last couple of rounds of the season, the 511 of Jeff Den. If Jeff Den and that Suzuki can turn up full-time in 2022, then we've got a battle on our hands. It was Den, though, that took the flag and the final victory out at Carltonville. Confirmation of Den on top with Slabbert in the 2 spot. That gave Ernst Slabbert and Rubine Racing the championship in 2021 for the veterans. He beat out on the day Bosch, Brandlin, De Greef, Bagnall and Deploy. Up the ladder we go into the Masters. Story of the day was small numbers on the page, and remember, the Masters category was blown wide open with the late injuries coming in from the reigning champ, Wayne Farmer. Fricky Ellis did a good job out in the mud and slop of Carltonville to take a number 6 finish. S1 Hall, who comes in and out of the championship every now and again, and when the track suits him, he is on the burner. Number 5 spot for Hall. Sean Farrow, who likes to call himself the top Suzuki, well, he certainly is on this gate anyway, runs good numbers and will walk away with a number 4. That will see him inside the top 5 for the championship as well. The points leader coming into the second half of the season was Francois Swanepoel. He had to settle for 3rd place this time around and lost a lot of points in the title chase with a lot of mechanicals and crashes in the second half of the tour. Carl LaRue, who started out the season on a KTM, but for the last couple of rounds has been picked up by the Franchise Co CIT squad, and getting comfortable on the Cower, he walked away with a 3 spot, and that also jumped him up into the top 3 for the title chase. Remember, Millies missed out on racing at round number 1 of the season. The winner, though, at the end of the season, the guy who has been on fire for the last couple of rounds, beating out on all of his injury woes at the beginning of the season, full flight and fighting fit, Warwick Van Skalkwyk for the Roost KTM squad was simply unstoppable out at Carltonville, and with that win, also cemented his first ever GXCC Masters number 1 plate. For 2022, with everyone lined up fully fit, it's gonna be a war. Confirmation then of Van Skalkwyk taking this top step at the final round of asking ahead of Millies LaRue, Swanepoel, Farrow, Hall and Ellis. But is Warwick Van Skalkwyk your Masters champion for the GXCCs in 2021? Into the seniors then, where we saw massive gates coming out, and a lot of these guys got caught up in the late afternoon rain. 6th place for JJ Rousseau, and Werner Swanepoel just up the road from him inside of a number 5. These guys found a track that was very much their liking. Not too technical, and a lot of wide open flowing tracks, so you could really feel the magic. Gerard Foster for the Franchise Co squad was out there as the top screaming weasel. Gerard likes to run the blue smoke on his 139 machine. He also really came to life. Peter Van Rooyen, who came out of a top 6 finish at the penultimate round, now goes a couple of places even better. 3rd place for Van Rooyen and the Bikers Warehouse squad. That's his best ride on the season and his best ride on his career. Yanni Potgieter unleashed the beast. He rolled out a freshie. The big 500 is a hard bike to ride, but when you've got the skills to pay the bills, you can tame the beast. 2nd place for Potgieter will keep him inside that top 3 for the championship chase. But Marco Cocci has been on one in the last couple of rounds, and the main man out of Yamaha came good. He muscled the Yamaha around the gnarly terrain out at Carltonville, and he was able to just hang off the back and hold it pinned wide open. Madman Cocci takes another win to move himself up higher and higher on the Seniors Championship Tour. Cocci is a measure of consistency, but every now and again, when he gets that win, he shows really what he can do. Cocci confirmation of the final win in the seniors out at Carltonville, beating out on Potgieter in the big 500 ahead of Van Rooyen, his best ride of the season inside of a number 3, beating Foster, Swanepoel, Rousseau, Ramsden, De Kock, Richter and Giannakis. Into the high school category, and like we said, the high school 125s has been blown open this season. The title has already been decided, so it's now for the minor placings in the championship and on the box. Christian Swart was good enough for a number 6, with Hanko Janssen van Rensburg number 5, Kitleko McKinney, who saw a little bit of clear air off the whole shot, but that was short-lived, as unfortunately mechanicals and fueling strategy let him down. He dropped down to a number 4 come the end of play. Raymond Langridge has been a busy kid. Depending on which race and which tour we are on, he is mixing up between 85s and 125s. Next year, he sticks 125s full-time, and it shows he is going to be a good fit as he walks away with 3rd place. Jason Leslie, for the last 4 rounds of the championship, has been a man on fire, and another incredible second place here confirms his second place in the championship as well. Watch out for him in 2022. Jan Wenzel, who is a classic and really well-known 250cc racing rider, he stepped down a notch onto the 125 and showed that he has lost none of his skills. Remember, he is still only 17 years old, so Wenzel is looking to go 125 racing once again in 2022. He confirms himself as the final winner out at Carltonville. Wenzel on top. That was an interesting ride to see him change his style from a 250 to a 125, beating out Leslie, Language, McKinney, Jens van Rensburg, and Swartz. For the OR3 pros, it was going to be an interesting situation where Matty Wilson came back to ride the Husky for the final time before moving up to the factory KTM squad next year. Mechanicals let him down though. It was only a 6th place ride with Cosmos Mamalukas, one of the former 125 Botswana riders. He looks like he is locked in for the GXCCs in 2022. Mamalukas will be a key rider as he walks away with the number 5. John Buerta has already wrapped up the 125 title chase, and he is looking very, very comfortable already on his 250. He walks away with a creditable number 4 finish as he gets ready to take on the establishment in 2022. Carl McKenzie and Taki Botgiorgis have done a lot of formation flying this season. Once again, McKenzie solid as a rock inside of a number 3 with Taki Botgiorgis. 2nd place at the final round incredibly moves him up into 2nd place for the championship. It's been a tough season for Botgiorgis, but great to see him firing on all cylinders once again. The 222 in the number 2 spot. But as has been the familiar sight and the narrative of 2021, Dav Cocker, even with a crash here and there, is simply unstoppable on the Rockstar Racing factory Husqvarna. This guy, just to show how fast he was, got himself inside of the top 5 overall out at the super fast Carltonville layout, and that was with lying down once or twice as well. Dav Cocker continues his dominance of the sport on the 250 front.
Dav, banger of a season. I think today you had a point to prove. You want to see how high you climb the ladder, but a win in the 250s, but a solid top 5 overall as well.
Yes, today was a good day. Started off well with a good hole shot. Haven't had too many of those this year, but it was a nice one and kept it out front. And I caught all the way to the OR1s, and eventually I unfortunately fell, but carried it home safe, and I'm just happy.
I saw your bud Matty was with you in the early stages, but let's talk about next year. It looks like you're going after a 250 title once again.
Next year I'm going to stick on the 250, and I'm looking forward to the season, see what it has in store for us, and I'm ready for anything.
As has been the case throughout 2021, Cocker on top once again, underlining his dominance of the championship chase. Botgiorgis, McKenzie, Buerta and Mamalukas inside of the top 5, and we bid adieu to Wilson on a Husky and get used to seeing him on KTM in 2022. Into the OR2 Pro category, where we also saw a little bit of chopping and changing at the end of the season. Janus Jansen coming out of the Pro-Ams, swinging a leg into the OR2 Pros and showing that he's going to have the pace to run with these guys in 2022. We can't wait to see what he can do. Justin Manuel has been up there as well the whole way through the season, racing his way inside of a top 5 once again with Jean Niebuhr, who was in that dice for 3rd place the whole way through the second half of the title chase. His closest rival, Frank de Grief, out through injury and mechanicals at the final round. That's going to see him moving on up. Devon Smith had some mechanical issues on his machine as well, but incredibly enough, the Vance Racing Husqvarna brought him home to the line, and he managed to grab that important 3rd place finish. But even more important was Kieran Fitzgerald getting the number 2 spot. That split the 2 championship rivals and was the deciding factor in the title chase come the end of play as well. Fitzgerald, new to GXCC racing, but has run incredibly strong pace the whole way through the National Championship Series. The same can be said for Ian Rawle, although the second half of the season has been peppered with a couple of DNFs and crashes. Very un-Ian Rawle style like. But the brawler was on the money once again as he raced himself into third place overall out at Carltonville for the day. Only 2 big bangers were up the road from him. But on the 350 OR2 Pros, Brawler was once again the man.
Brawler, fast season, but difficult season for you. Lots of crashes happening. It's very uncharacteristic, actually, in your style.
Yes, it was a good season, I have to say. Had some very highs and some very lows. I haven't DNF'd in, I think, 8 years, and this year I had 2. So I changed a few things, just put my mind, and I knew I could be fast. I just need to ride smart. And that's the thing I think I lacked this year and kind of threw it away. Yeah, well done to Devon. He was a good competitor. I knew in the beginning of the year he's going to be quick, so I couldn't slack and just lay on my back and do nothing. So I trained hard, and I did what I could. Gave it my all the whole year, and yeah, took the win today. Pushed hard, had fun, had so much fun racing Tristan Purden. It's nice seeing the motocross oaks coming over here and like battling with them. So it was a good day.
Listen, let's sign off by saying, are you sticking 350 next year, or is there finally going to be a brawler on a 450?
That will be a surprise. Let's see.
Brawler on top then. Yes, we can't wait to see what happens in 2022. Brawler takes the final win, beating out Fitzgerald and Smith. Smith takes 2 spot in the championship. Niebuhr confirms his 3rd place with his 4th place ride, beating out Manuel, Janssen, Esterhazen and De Graaf. Your champ, though, once again, is Brawler by 1 point over Smith. And for the final time of asking, the Pro OR1 Big Bangers, where Wade Blau once again swung a leg to go up against the kids after already wrapping up his senior title. He takes a number 6 finish against the most stacked OR1 gate we have ever seen on GXCC racing. Wade Den has come out of absolutely nowhere the last couple of rounds, and we'd love to see him swing a leg the whole way through the season. 5th place shows that he's got the pace to pay the bills. Tyrone Beverly, after going submarine man at the previous round at Verena, is definitely on point. He loved the high-speed, wild nature of the track out at Carltonville, and 4th place shows that he is going to be a key top 5 runner once again as he moves from Husqvarna to Kawasaki, but stays with the franchise co in next season's challenge. Hyde van Niekerk, the only rider out there who can tame the beast that is the Roost Racing's 500 KTM, finally found a track that was to his liking, had the luck on his side, and even though he had 1 or 2 little lie downs, he was still on the money and gets his highest GXCC finish in the last couple of seasons. 3rd place for Hein van Niekerk, on fire at Carltonville. The Dart is the picture of consistency, butter smooth, and just always keeping that thing under wraps. 2nd place will give him his 2nd place in the championship. Remember, Dart has taken 2 overall series victories out of the GXCCs through his years of racing, and he looks oh so comfortable on the Quacker, but there was one man just a little bit quicker than him the whole way through the championship chase. After missing out on a result at round number 1, it has been the Magic Mike show. Mike Pentecost, faultless on every single track that we have laid out for him at the GXCCs, and at Carltonville, it was the same story. He got to the front, he got gone, he got out, and there was no catch in the back wheel of Magic Mike as he trounced the field and dominated the 2021 championship with yet again another victory. And a mud burnout as well. The timekeepers were super happy with that one.
Mikey, what can we say about the season that hasn't already been said? I mean, you hammered the nail at the final time of asking. I told you at the beginning of the year, you lost that first race. I said you have to win everything else, and you did.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, like the national championship and the GXCC championship, we couldn't have asked for more, and just absolutely so blessed to be a part of such a cool team. Yeah, Harry Grobler, I mean, a massive thanks to that guy. He's turned my life around, and yeah, getting it done, happy.
Tell me about this last race. I mean, we knew it was going to be a swampy one, and just beat the rain, eh?
Yeah, I'm so glad we beat the rain. Look, it was still muddy out there, but back at home, it's been raining a lot. The past 2 weeks, all I've been riding is in the flippin' mud. And yeah, it suited me today. It was a very fast race, and enjoyed it, so it was good, eh?
Your season, I'm going to sum it up for you. Number 1 national, number 1 Northern Regions, number 1 GXCC club. You're the man to beat.
Yeah, it feels amazing. Yeah, thanks very much, Matt.
Dart, you've been a GXCC champion in your time. You know what it takes, but you pushed hard for that number 2 spot this year.
Yeah, you know, this year was going to be a tough one with work and with the racing, so I decided to just give it what I could this year, but the focus is on next year. So I'm really happy to finish second in the GXCCs and third in the Nationals this year, and I think it's a good base for next year. I'm going to work hard in the off season and come back with a bang next year.
You were key in getting this 450 dialed in for the Kawasaki boys, so I think a lot of guys are going to go green next year, hey?
Yeah, I think majority gate today on the R1s was Kawasaki. So it was cool to have Lawrence Mahoney out here, Kenny Gilbert, all the guys, and I think the hashtag what's it called, Chomi Challenge was a very cool initiative, and it brought a lot of guys out here. So yeah, stoked with today, stoked with the second today, and stoked with the second overall this year, and can't thank my team enough for all their help. You know, Peps and Plastics, Motor Kawasaki, they've really been in my corner this year, and looking forward to next year.
The top 2 riders on the OR1 Pro Big Bangers were the top 2 riders in the championship. Mikey Pentecost beating out on the Dart, with Vanny Kirk coming to life at the final time of asking ahead of Beverly, Den and Blau, with Lawrence Mahoney coming in on the Chomi Challenge, beating out on Alcock and Hall, and Kenny Gilbert swinging a leg once again. That has been our Pro Show, and we cannot thank you guys enough for joining us for the journey. It's been incredible to see what all the pro category racers can do out at the GXCCs. The calendar has already been laid out for 2022, and the racing will no doubt be even wilder as we look forward to the brand new season. Next up for us, it's going to be the support class as we roll out our coverage of 2021 and the GXCCs. This GXCC racing action powered by Dunlop was brought to you by SPX Logistics, Dunlop, RME, Bearings and Transmission, and driven by the Bikers Warehouse.
So with the pro motorcycles in the bag, it is obvious where we are headed for our final show. And that's coming up next week, where we focus in on our support classes. Those are the 4 classes in the Pro-Ams. The Pro-Ams 1, 2, 3, and our ladies, as well as a sign-off from our technical sponsor, partner, and good friend, Justin Bauer, out there at CW, Cycle Work Suspension. He has really been picking up the pace, especially in the second half of the season. Since we've been partnering with him as well, he's said he has had record numbers coming through the workshop as well. So tune in for the final show. That is going to be coming out at the tail end of the week. That means we will sign off on Hollywood before we go into our Christmas celebrations. So hang tough, guys. This is our penultimate show signing off. And then at the end of this week, it's going to be the last show, which will be support class and CW. And that will be also us signing off and saying laters. For now, hang tough. Hope you enjoyed the show today.